Donald Duck stood in his messy living room, hands on his hips. "I've had it," he squawked to his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. "No more hiring expensive experts. From now on, I'm a master of home improvement. Behold, my master plan." He unrolled a giant, crinkled blueprint covered in messy crayon drawings. The blueprint showed a magnificent, palace-like house. Then Donald pointed to the real, slightly messy room. "This dingy living room will become a majestic throne room." The nephews exchanged worried glances. The only thing dingy was Donald's plan. Donald opened his toolbox. "First, I need my trusty tape measure." He pulled it out, but the metal tape snapped back, pinching his fingers. "YOWWW!" he yelled, shaking his hand wildly. The boys facepalmed. It was going to be a long day. Donald tried to measure the wall. He held one end of the tape, but the other end kept slipping. He used a banana, a shoe, and finally a protesting Dewey to hold it in place. Of course, all his measurements were completely wrong. Now for the fun part, demolition. Donald cheered, swinging a giant sledgehammer. He missed the small wall section he meant to hit and instead put a huge, duck-shaped hole in the main wall. A flock of birds outside peeked in, looking very confused. To fix the hole, Donald decided to put up new drywall. He mixed a giant vat of sticky glue, but as he carried it, he slipped on a stray marble. The glue flew everywhere, covering Donald from head to toe and sticking him firmly to the floor. Finally free, Donald moved on to painting. He chose a cheerful yellow. He filled a roller with too much paint and then spun around to answer the phone. The roller flung paint all over the room, the furniture, and a very grumpy-looking potted plant. The nephews tried to help by painting the lower part of the wall, but Donald, standing on a ladder, accidentally stepped in their paint tray. His big, webbed feet became giant yellow stamps, leaving footprints all the way to the kitchen. Donald decided the kitchen sink needed an upgrade. "How hard can it be?" he squawked. He turned the wrong valve, and water shot out of the pipe like a fountain, quickly flooding the kitchen. Donald desperately tried to plug the leak with a potato, which only made things worse. Next, he tried to install a new ceiling light. "I remember, red wire to red wire," he muttered. There was a loud ZZZAP and a flash of light. When the smoke cleared, Donald's feathers were standing straight up, and he was holding a charred, still glowing light bulb. His skeleton was briefly visible. For the new floor, Donald chose sticky tiles. He didn't read the instructions about spacing. He started in the corner and worked his way out, only to find himself trapped in the bathroom, the entire floor covered in freshly laid, super sticky tiles. He attempted to build a new bookshelf from a flat-pack box. The instructions were a puzzle. After hours of work, he stood back proud. He placed a single book on it, and the whole thing collapsed into a neat pile of boards and screws with a sad sigh. Venturing outside, Donald decided to build a beautiful bird fountain. He connected 2 mini hoses to the water spigot. When he turned it on, the water pressure created a tangled, knotted snake of hoses that chased him around the yard, spraying water everywhere. Exhausted and covered in paint, glue, and mud, Donald called his nephews. "Behold, my new home." His voice trailed off. The house was a total wreck. Holes in the walls, a flooded kitchen, a sticky floor, and furniture in pieces.